Let me fix this her. I am ready to read. Oh, look at all that dandruff. Fall, baby, fall.
Oh, my good God.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You're glowing. You look wonderful.
Oh, I just, by the windows. You just gotta
By
get
the
that
window.
light. You know what I'm saying? That light.
Gotta get that light. Hello, beautiful.
Hi.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna wear my hair down. I was gonna be like, what is my pay homage to you would be wearing my hair down, but it looks greasy and nasty
No,
today, so
mine does
we're
too.
just
Look. That's why they're back in a little pin.
little butterfly
You should
clips.
try these, yeah.
I love it. I love it. So we'll wait for like another minute or so. So if you want to
Okay.
get comfortable, and then we're just gonna kind of jump in. My goal, it has a staple in it. This,
Oh my god.
this is you.
It's in
So
down.
it's 1, 2, 3. It's 5 pages. So the goal today will be to get through 5 pages in less than an hour. So we're gonna do that.
Yes.
I'm learning a lot from last time, so I thank you so much for being on my program, Bachelor of Charts, episode 2. Hello,
I'm so
Miss
lucky.
Olivia
I'm
MacDowell.
so lucky you invited me.
I'm happy to have you. And you look glowing, you look lit. My sister could take a little message from you about how to light herself.
I learned from you when you were over here.
Yes.
It's my place right here.
Awesome. Okay, so do you have any expectations of what we're about to do? Do you know what's going on? What are your thoughts about coming into this?
Honestly, I think it's gonna be really creepy because you know everything about me. I'm like really excited to learn more about myself. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Like I'm
That's pretty much
definitely in
what
a
it is.
transition in my life where I'm like, what is going on? Like just started my first job.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to learn more about myself and where to take this because every day is a roller coaster. So I
Oh, wow.
love to hear insights on like how I can, I don't know, take each day on like with a really positive mindset. I mean, you're probably going to tell me I'm really pessimistic. I'm really stubborn. So I'm like, I don't know. I just want to know what everyone thinks of like what my birthday means manifesting for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, basically, okay, so what a birth chart is it's a picture of what the sky looked like on the day that you were born. On the day, minute, hour that you were born, in the place that you were born, if you were to look up at the sky, this is what it looked like. So what this tells you is kind of your personality and how you kind of navigate the world, period. So you can take it as you wish. I love that you've come in with the mentality, like if you've ever gotten your tarot read or anything like that read, it's kind of what you put into it, and the thought that you have is kind of what you're going to get back from it.
Okay.
So keep that thought in your mind about what you're trying to get out of it, and I think you will. So I say let's get into it, yeah?
Yes, let's go.
So I've also started this new thing that I'm kind of on a journey of, which I'm trying to find what I'm calling the archetypes of sort of all of this stuff, because it's a lot of words, and if I can kind of make it a little more visual for me, it makes a lot more sense. And so with you, I've been experimenting a lot with sort of the archetypes. So you'll get sort of archetypes of a personality throughout, and hopefully they make sense to you as well. So like I said, jump in if you have any questions or any stories that you'd like to tell if I'm talking too much. So let's start. Okay, so we'll start with your sun sign. Do you know what your sun sign is?
You told me a long time ago, but I don't remember. And so I
Okay.
need a refresher.
Okay, so you are a Libra. From your birthday, you're a Libra. That's your sun sign. So you are. So your sun sign is your expressive personality. So this is how you express outwardly. So your sun sign is a Libra in the 4th house. What does that mean? So it's an outward expression, sun sign, of a Libra is all about cooperation, diplomacy, and charm. And then your 4th house is family and familial home and bonds. So what does that mean? So first, let's start with your Libra. The image in nature, you're the cardinal air sign. cardinal meaning the beginning, and air, air. We know what air is. So nature, I think of a tornado or even lightning. Oh, she said the lighting. I thought she said lightning. I was like, what did she do? So I think of tornado or lightning is the Libra sign. So it's movement of air, but it's like actively moving. So that's what the Libra represents. So let me just read what I have and then we'll go over it. I said Libras are peacekeepers and thrive in harmony and balanced situations. You're also the scales. I don't know if you ever know the sign. Yes. This position indicates a person who dislikes chaos at home, because again, you're in the 4th house, so you place a lot of your importance about cooperation and relationships with your home life. So you dislike chaos at home and you like beautiful and charming space. So you probably like really well lit areas. You probably decorate really well. You like maybe even plants. You might be a person who likes plants. You're very charming and you can be seen as the perfect child or the ideal family to others. So other people look at you and your family as like the all-American family because of what you put out there to people. You're also the mediator in family conflict a lot of the times. So does any of that resonate with you so far?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I really like stability and I'm really big on bonds. So like where I'm living needs to be, first of all, clean all the time, organized. Like I need to feel safe where I am. Like I need that routine. So and then like, obviously, I mean, you said people look at me and my sister and my mom and dad sometimes and it just looks like we're all great all the time, which we're not, but we definitely put off that. I mean, everyone usually puts up a great face for Instagram. So, but it does, I am really big on the bonds, because if I don't have really strong bonds with friends and family, then I like feel lost. And then I also really thrive. Yeah, I do like peace. Like I need to know everyone that I in relationships with, like everyone's okay with me. Like I really don't like conflict. I really don't. I'm stubborn.
I found that out.
Yeah, I'm stubborn, but I don't like conflict. Like I'd rather just move on from it. And like, because then you're just holding on to all this weight and then you're always going to think about it. So I definitely resonate with all of that.
With all of that? Yeah, definitely. I love that. Knowing you, from what I know about you, the word that kept coming up about Libra was charm and harmony. And I think you are really charming. So I thought that was like really an interesting sort of thing. The archetype that I kind of chose from your specific Libra sun in the 4th house was the perfect family is kind of that archetype. It's, again, it's not that you have the perfect family. It's just that you like to put effort in showing others that your family is good. We are good. We don't have any issues that we want to share with you right now, and we're fine. So good and bad, it's good that, you like to show a positive side to your life, but it could be that you might be manipulating the situation a little, or you might be kind of guarded with your personal life because you'd rather, we're fine, so again, and it's active. It's an active communication to other people. You're not like reacting to other people. People aren't asking you questions and you're like, no, I'm fine. You're more like, let me set this up so that people don't ask questions kind of thing.
Yeah.
Does that exactly?
Liza said no issues here.
Yeah, no issues here. But again, it could be good, it could be bad. I don't know. It's just how you interpret that. Like Libras are also, to me, they're really energetic people. That, like me personally, I'm a Sagittarius, and the way I interact with Libras sometimes, I love having them around, but they're kind of exhausting to me. Like they take a lot of energy out of me, which is great. So, I love a good Libra. They're also very creative too. So hopefully that manifests for you too. So let's move on.
But not in ways that I think a lot of people think are creativity. Like I'm creative in expressing myself through like arts, but not like drawing or like coming up with crazy ideas. It's like through dance. And I have to remind myself, because usually I'm like, oh my God, I'm not creative. Like I'm not creative at all. But then I can like make a dance piece and tell a story through it. And then I'm like, okay, Olivia, give yourself some grace. Like you are creative, just maybe not in like the average day. What creative means, I don't know.
Hang on to that, because later I'm going to talk to you about something that's very interesting to that. Okay. So Keep that in mind. So moving on, your moon sign. So your sun sign, you think sun is, it sends light out, it's expressive, it's outward. The moon actually receives light from the sun and then reflects. So we think of the moon as reactive, reflective. It's honestly the way you feel when you're comfortable at home. So I look at the moon sign as sort of who we really are on the inside. So your moon is in Taurus in the 11th house. You're like, what does that mean? I don't know. Okay. So I wrote it as inward reception and reaction. There's 12.
12, okay.
12 houses. And so your houses are, and I can show you, and I'll send you this, but I know I don't have like a picture of it up. Where's your rising? So like your chart kind of looks like this. And so your rising is over here. This is the first house.
Okay.
So what we can do is imagine this is where you are when you were born, and then it just kind of rotates throughout your life. So then you kind of move through each of the houses. And so it represents a different part of your life. And I'll send you a good copy of this. You have this, but
wow.
That's what the houses are.
Okay.
So your moon in Taurus in the 11th house. So the archetype I have for this one is the conservative, and this isn't politically what I mean. I don't mean a political conservative, and you'll get what I mean when I read this. So inward reception and reaction, so moon sign is inward reception, to value and practicality. So Taurus is the second sign, and it rules, most people just say money, but it rules value and practical things and, you know, worldly items, material goods, the things you value and other things like that. And it's focused on community and hopes and dreams. So the 11th house rules how you feel about yourself. Where do you fit in society, in community, and also your particular hopes and dreams. So inward reception reaction to money focused on what your possibilities are in the world. So the reason I say this is a conservative is because you require a stable and comfortable home, needs to feel safe. Hello, you just said that earlier. Avoids confrontation and unpredictable situations. I wrote this days ago. I want you to say, like, I'm not just writing this. Maintains a few strong relationships and needs to feel like they belong. Dreams of goodness and calmness and very good-hearted. So your dreams for like society and the world is just good. It's not necessarily anything particular, but you kind of, you always were like, I hope everything's just going to be good for me and for everyone, kind of thing. So does that make any kind of sense?
True. I just want peace and calm, but I'm not like all in on one thing, if that makes sense. And I think it's because I don't know, it takes a lot out of me to give energy, and so I'm really particular on what I give energy to. You're talking about like those really strong bonds that I have, and so I'm a person that likes quality over quantity in everything in my life. So I'd rather have like 2 friends who, you know, I know are going to be there for me till the end versus like 10, you know. And I'm like, I'm, you know, just started my new job, and so I'm really trying to find like my niche there with those people. And like, I'm so lucky because I have already, and it's been 2 months. But I'm definitely like, I need to feel like safe, and that all resonates with me very much.
Yeah, and especially with when we think about, I'm kind of losing you, unless I'm losing me, but hopefully we can reconnect.
Okay, I can hear you now. Oh.
Can you hear me though? As long as you can hear me, we're good. So like when we think about Taurus too, again, it's all about money. So I think it's interesting that you require, you said this earlier, you require a stable and comfortable home. Oh, can you hear me now?
I can like hear you and then it goes out.
Yeah, you're kind of going in and out. Well, people are joining. I'm going to keep talking though, so hopefully you can catch me, and then Olivia was saying that you feel, I lost her. There we go. Oh, yeah, this is Are We Losing You? Hopefully Olivia will join back on, and then we can get her back going. Everyone kind of can see me, but I guess we can't see. Oh, there she goes. All right, here we are, guys. Let's get you back on. Hello. We are waiting for her. Join me, dear. Call me now. Classic Libby. And it says waiting. She requested me, and yet we're still waiting. Anyway, so the Taurus in the conservative, it's all about money, but about stable sort of environment as well, which I thought was interesting for you, Olivia. You require stable and comfortable home. You had already mentioned that. So I don't know. I thought that was very interesting. It says it won't let me. Thank you. I'm going to re-invite her. Hold on. Are we back?
Yes, I don't know what happened. I didn't move.
I don't know what happened either. Okay. So, I mean, you caught a bunch of that. So, I mean, that I think resonated really well with you, that it's about stability, comfort, and having goodness sort of in your life, which I think is, you mentioned even before we got here. So it works, you know?
Money, yes. Agreed with money.
Yeah, it's tough to talk about money, especially in a public space, but you know, it's not even just like money as in like greed. It's money as in like how you can support yourself and support other people too. So
I am very conservative with my money, if that makes sense. Like I'm like very anal with money. So when you said that, I was like, that definitely makes sense for me.
Awesome. So moving on to your next one, we have your rising sign. So your sun sign was how you express yourself. Your moon sign is sort of who you are internally and sort of how you react to the world. Your rising sign is how you move throughout life in new situations and sort of your first reaction to things. So this is really how the first sort of being of yourself that happens throughout life. So I've been told that your rising sign is really kind of who you are personally. I've been told this is how you should dress. This is sort of a good representation of who you are. So, hey, enjoy it. So your rising sign is Cancer. So your rising sign is always in your first house. Your first house is about identity. So your rising sign is Cancer. I wrote your archetype as the observer. So tell me if you resonate with any of this. So this is your character and attitude towards life, which is focused on emotional sensitivity, familiarity, and protection. And so that's what Cancer is. Cancer is all about emotional sensitivity, sort of a familiarity in a home, and protection. The image in nature, again, it's another cardinal sign. So it's cardinal water. So I think of river or rain, sort of very active water sign.
Okay.
So what that translates as is seems shy or reserved in new situations. You prefer to watch or observe from the outside and warm up before interacting. You're caring and familiar once comfortable. So like you might, like with new people might just be like, I don't know why I feel like I can just talk to you. That's kind of, you give off that vibe. Seeks others with well-defined rules, stability, and security in life. So you resonate really well. You kind of look for people to stay, like you in your life, maybe relationship or whatever, you want to be with somebody who in their life has really well-defined rules, boundaries, and seems stable, because that kind of comforts you. You might not have that, so you kind of want someone to help you with that. So how do you feel about that?
Yes, I'm very emotionally sensitive.
Yeah.
Check. And I really flock towards people who definitely know who they are and are grounded in who they are, because then I don't know, I'm drawn to them. I'm drawn to people who just have this vision, like Kevin, like I love you because like you are just so confident in who you are. And that is and I don't know if that means I'm not, but I really like people that are. And maybe it is because I am, so I want to feel like that pack with other people that aren't like searching, like we're all searching all the time, but like there comes a time where you know who you are. And so I just like people who are just confident. Like I just flock to confident people that know who they are, and I just love it. And so it's very true.
Love it.
It's very true. And then I am an observer, definitely. I will observe before I like come out of my shell, if that makes sense. But I always want people to feel comfortable with coming to me. Like I love like listening to. Like I love listening to people. I don't know. Like I really want to remember everything that someone says to me. So then when I see them again, I'm like, what happened? What happened after this happened? So You can talk to me for days and I will listen and I will remember it.
And you're interested, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and that's definitely a big sign about Cancer too. I mean, with the whole like you like confident people kind of also reigns true to your Libra sign, where it's like chaos really upsets you in general. So if you feel a certain type of way and then like you're met with sort of a really conflicting energy, somebody who isn't confident in themselves or someone who has a lot of chaos, that might really just throw you off a little bit. And then again, with that security, it's like, I feel secure when other people feel as I do or have same mentality as I do. So that's maybe why you sort of flock to those kind of people.
Definitely.
So yeah, I like that. I think that kind of really represents who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to your chart ruler. So this is not necessarily something that's on your chart, but it's something that is sort of what I look at as like the overarching theme of your life. So very interesting. Your chart ruler is basically your rising sign is Cancer. So in order to find your chart ruler, you go to the ruling planet for your sign. So Cancer's ruling planet is actually not a planet, it's the moon. So your ruling planet is the moon, and then you find out where your moon is on your chart, and that's where your sort of overarching theme is.
Okay.
So your chart ruler is the moon, and it's in Taurus in the 11th house, which we've already discussed. So what that manifests in your life, the archetype I wrote down is the empath, or the empathetic one. So the central theme of your life is focused on sensitivity and emotion to value and practicalities for others. So you're sensitive and adapt to the environment, motherly and empathetic. So that's sort of your theme around your life, is kind of, you will always come off as somebody who is sensitive, who will kind of is comfortable everywhere and wants to make everyone feel comfortable where you are. If that makes sense.
No, yeah, it does. and you,
yeah. Do you ever?
On the head. Yeah, I'm
do you ever feel like
to a flaw? I think a little bit. Like sometimes I feel too much, and I'm like, I wish I could just brush it off, but I can't. Like it really overwhelms me sometimes with emotion, and I'm like, why can't I just be so nonchalant? Like, why do I have to care so much about like dumb things too? It's not even like. It's just like little things. So I'm really sensitive. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like it's almost your responsibility to make other people feel like they belong in a group? Like if you're in a new group or
Definitely.
Just in a group of regular people and you see someone kind of off, do you feel like I'm going to go bring them in kind of feel?
Definitely. I hate when people feel like, I can tell when someone feels on the outside. And I think since I'm an extrovert, even though I think I'm really an introvert, but I come off as an extrovert in groups, I always want people to like, if they're not in the conversation, I'm like, how do I get them to come into the conversation? I think I've always kind of been that way because I know if I wasn't in the group and I was uncomfortable on the outside, I would really want someone to do that for me. You know?
Do that for you.
So.
Yeah. That's great. So that's kind of your four main ones. So your sun, your moon, your rising, and your chart ruler. Those are kind of mainly you as a personality. The next three that we're going to look at are they're called your inner planets. So these are your planets that kind of dictate sort of how you personally react to the world. So we're going to start with Mercury. So your Mercury is the people always talk about Mercury in retrograde, which I'll bring up to you, but yeah. Mercury is Mercury rules communication and decisions. So this is how you talk to people. This is how you make deals. This is how you make choices in your life. Mercury is kind of responsible for that. So your Mercury is in Libra in the 5th house. So my archetype for this one is the smooth talker. So the 5th house is all about self-expression. And Libra obviously is all about charm, grace, and cooperation. So this person is articulate and diplomatic when speaking, prefers working with a team or children, requires mentally stimulating or creative interactions, very easy to get along with, and avoids conflict. Also a good storyteller is what I wrote here too. So does that reign true at all about how you speak in life?
Yes, except the kids, because I thought...
You only kid.
Well, I thought I was. Remember, I was going to be a teacher. I was going to teach 1st grade. But it's not my thing. So I actually don't think the kids. But, I mean, maybe I did at one point. So I think there might be something in there. But yes, when you said simulating interactions. Like I want like something out of those interactions. I don't want to just like hang out with someone and like literally do nothing. Like something's got we got to do something from that interaction.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you're probably going to get bored easily with small talk.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I don't like, I don't like small talk. Like I like people who are open books because I'm pretty much an open book. Like on here, I don't mind talking about myself.
Sure.
I like when people just share and share and share. If you share too much with me, I'm going to like you even more. Because I really, I'd rather, I just like vulnerable people and people who are going to like just open up to me because I'm very open. I don't know why. Maybe it's bad, but I'm just like open because then you can really get to know someone instead of like having those shallow relationships. Like I'd rather have really deep ones, and then we can actually like get to know each other and
exactly.
be in each other's lives. So I get down straight to the point. Like all my new work friends, I'm like, okay, tell me everything. Like I'll be there for you. Like already go deep. Like I don't want to know what you have for dinner. I want to know what happened in this relationship. You know, like I will get to know you way better. So.
Yeah. Well, have you also ever been told that you're a good talker or that you tell stories well? Like, is that something you've been told before?
I guess I didn't think about that, but I do love to tell stories. I do love it. And sometimes I do like to have the attention on me. So I guess that makes sense why I want to just like talk and talk.
Well,
and
you've been pretty good at talking so far. So, I mean, I could say that you're a good talker, even just not tripping over words, not being like that's, you know,
I mean,
it's a talent.
I'm in customer service now and I talk to people all day, every day. So I think I do like to talk to people.
Yeah. And you're good at it. Let me talk to you about your Mercury in retrograde. So what that is Mercury is, I guess it just has us, because it's so tied with the way we talk and make decisions, people feel it a lot more. So when Mercury's in retrograde, what that means is that it's spinning in the other direction, or it looks like it's spinning in the other direction to us. So that kind of makes communication and decision-making a lot more acute. Like you notice things a lot more. You might get stronger feelings, or you might get annoyed, irritated, or even just wrong. Like you just might be out of whack. So for you, when your Mercury's in retrograde, forgot I even wrote this, you may tire quickly of boring or dumb conversations or situations. I love this one. You're affected by slow talking or long-winded stories. Like you might find in your head being like, okay, faster, come on, like, come on, you're just too slow. It's just too slow, like faster, speak faster. You may compromise more than necessary, which I found interesting. And you may unintentionally do more harm than good. So like you might be the person that like if there's a lot of decisions or something, you might feel a certain type of way, but if the group feels like leaning another direction, you'll go, let's just do that one. It's fine. Let's do that one. And then you might be missing out on what's best for you kind of feeling. So when Mercury's in retrograde, like decision making might be tough for you because you might take yourself out of the equation just to get things going. Like, let's go. I'd rather just do what's best for everyone right now. So keep that in mind when Mercury's in retrograde.
How often does that happen?
4 times a year.
Oh.
Yeah, we are out of it now, I think. Okay. Let me look up when the next one is. But
I'm happening right now?
I don't think it's happening right now, but let me look. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious that I said may tire quickly of boring or dumb conversations. So.
Definitely. I actually really like fast talkers. I don't know that I necessarily am really fast, but I like people who speak fast, and know how to get to the point. Like, I really like that. So that when you said that, I was like, you're so right. Like, I really don't like people who just linger. I'm like, wait, what's the point though? Where are we going?
Right. Also, I lied. It's 3 times a year, not 4.
Okay.
So it just finished in July. So our next one is October 14th to November 3rd.
That's my birthday. My birthday?
So I'm just, be aware that you might be a little testy around people who are slow or dumb in their conversations. Just listen. And if you don't want to listen, just be nice about it. And then when you're making decisions, maybe take a little more time to make decisions. Just think about it, because you might, like I said, it might do yourself more harm than good.
I hate making decisions, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm retrograde, I'm gonna be like, I don't care, whatever.
Exactly. And then you might miss out on opportunities. Yeah. You might, whatever. So Keep that in mind. So your Venus. Venus is, I call it the love planet, but it's also more about, it's about desire, and less in a sense of sexual desire, but more in like what makes me feel good. So this could be indulgent things like food. It could be, you know, like I like to go to the spa, whatever makes you physically feel good is what your Venus is. But it's also the love planet. It's how you flirt. It's how you get people to like you. It's what you think is sexy. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
Your Venus is in Sagittarius,
Oh.
in the 6th house. So your archetype for this is, I couldn't think of the word for it, so I might come up with something better, but it's the can-do, the person with the can-do attitude. So you have attraction and desire for expansion and growth, which is focused on health, work, and responsibilities. Okay, so that's a lot, but let me read this to you.
Yeah.
So you desire success and prosperity beyond what's expected for yourself. You thrive in jobs where you wear many hats, or you may work multiple jobs. You're attracted to athletic and healthy people dedicated to nutrition or exercise routine. You see yourself as attractive when you look healthy, when you look fit, when you look muscular, thin, or athletic, like you find yourself attractive in that way. So you might wear clothing that shows off like that. And you also love working on projects and following opportunities. Does any of that ring true to you?
So the only thing that doesn't is them having multiple jobs. I actually like to have one hat and really go deep in that role.
Okay.
That's what I'm learning. But the being attracted to fit people, exercising, my boyfriend is like the most fit person I know. So
Right.
that was hilarious. Yes. And also, I am more confident when I am eating better and working out. And basically, you probably will never see me in a t-shirt unless I'm sleeping. I like right now I'm wearing like an exercise dress. And, like I'm literally doing, I went to the grocery store. Like I really like, I do, that's true. I like wearing clothes that I feel good in because, you know, I do feel good and I don't want to cover it up with a baggy t-shirt. That's just like, I left that baggy t-shirt phase probably like freshman year of college and I like never went back. So when you were saying that, it's very true.
You did?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I really do like expressing myself in like clothes, like athletic wear. And Liza's right.
Yeah.
Ryan is always at the gym. Like he exercises all the time. So I really do like, I'm drawn to people like that because if they're treating their body well and they like how they look, then like I want to as well. You know?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say too. So I'm glad you touched on that it's not necessarily I like people who look attractive. It's that I like people who are healthy and like who have a routine in their health because it makes me feel good. So I like that you said that. As far as the jobs, hey, maybe in the future you'll find it's the idea is that you enjoy expansion in your responsibilities. So maybe if it's not wearing many hats, it's that like maybe the one job you have, you get more and more responsibilities into it.
Oh, definitely.
I feel like that.
I'm like leadership. Yeah. So I've always been drawn to like leadership and being able to move. Like I don't ever want to just stay in one place. Like definitely promotions. Like that's the goal and everything in life. So. Definitely, I'm also still figuring that out. So, you know, maybe that will be a thing. Just right now, I'm like, what is going on? So
exactly. So that's your Venus. So, you know, I love I love that for you. I wish my Venus was in a healthy house. My Venus is not, and I enjoy eating sour sketty. And
look, I'm eating cashews. That was good.
I just got red for that one. All right.
Wrong. I rated Liza's bag and had like so much Sour Patch. There's sour.
Oh my God.
Patch watermelon, and now there's sour Starbursts. So Liza knows I ate a lot of them last night. So don't.
And you also
I do that.
You just put Liza on blast too. You said I rated her bag and got all the candy. Come join me, boo. All right, moving on. So. Your Mars. So everyone kind of has some kind of association with Mars usually, but Mars is the action planet. So it's action, force, and fighting, really. So I don't necessarily think of it like fighting all the time. I mostly think of it like action, but I also think of it in a sense of like arguing. But your Mars is also in Sagittarius in the 6th house. Okay. So the archetype that I associated with this was the underdog. And not in the sense that you're less than other people, but more like I'm gonna work hard to show that I can do something kind of feel. So action and force influenced by expansion and growth, focused on health, work, and responsibilities. So you are the person, you're the go-getter, you're opportunistic, constantly striving for the best for themselves. You can be self-critical and may overwork yourself. I wrote that you're a martyr and will go to battle for others even when you're outmatched. So very like David and Goliath kind of thing. Irritated by those who don't work as hard as they do or don't share the same work ethic. So you have this idea of like, I know what I am capable of and I will strive to that. And I hope others do as well, is kind of what I get out of that. Does that ring true to you?
Yes. I sometimes put these like unrealistic standards on myself, and I'm learning I overwork a lot. And right before what you said on overworking, I forget what you said. You said something right before overwork.
Go-getter, opportunistic, constantly striving for the best for themselves, can be self-critical and may overwork themselves.
Self-critical.
You're like, yeah, me.
I wrote it down. I was like, overwork, and I was like, what did he say before? Self-critical. I'm extremely self-critical of myself, and I'm really trying to work on that. Really, like, I'm really trying, because it really can. I'm like, I say this all the time, and I think everyone is, but I'm my own harshest critic. So my own worst critic, and I just go, ugh, it's just bad. And it's not really in appearance, I would say. Like, I see other people, like, really it's more in my work. Like, in working, I'm very harsh on myself. And it's like, if I can't meet the same things I did the week before, I'm like, I fucking suck. And I get really upset. And it's like...
I was with you that week that you had, or that weekend after your first week, and you were so hard on yourself after starting that new job. Tell me about, like, what you were going through there and where you are now. Because it's been, what, over a month, huh?
Yeah, it's now so 2 months is this week. I've been there. Still, I'm kind of the same. I'm getting a little better, but not really, to be honest. I'm really trying to work on it, but I'm just finding it really hard to, like, maintain these goals. Like, I will hit, like, really, really cool goals one week, and then it's like, okay, but we're not superhumans. Like, we can't hit that every week, and, like, the job isn't consistent. Like, the job is you get put on this thing, and it's really hard, but then you get put on this thing, and it's really easy. So one week you can get, like, crazy numbers, and the next week you can't. And I'm not giving myself grace and thinking of it that way. Like, I can speak about it with you like that. But when it comes down to it, it's just, like, yeah, it's just overwhelming, and I'm very hard on myself in that way. So I'm
but you can also look at it. Yeah, but you can also look at it. I always saw people who are self-critical that's also a good driving force, you know?
Definitely.
Maybe if you weren't so hard on yourself, you wouldn't push yourself so hard. So, you know, it's positive and negative in everything.
No,
so
definitely.
Keep that in mind. All right, let's move on. So these are your outer planets. So these are the planets that kind of dictate your life with others and community, and not necessarily who you are as a person, but your interactions with others. So let's start with Jupiter. So Jupiter it's the big planet. So it's all about expansion, grace, luck, belief. So it's all about sort of expansion. It's in Aquarius in the 8th house. So the archetype I have for this one was tough too. I might change this one, but the thing that came to my head is the minister. So this is the person who the grace, luck, belief, and expansion is influenced by wisdom, uniqueness, and community, which is Aquarius, focused on transformation, healing, and mystery, which is the 8th house.
Okay.
So let me read the explanation to you. Either religious and indulgent in a mass religion like Catholicism or Buddhism, or extremely spiritual. Believes in the healing power of a higher being or influence. You may gamble or trust your money with others in belief that will come back to you greater, which it doesn't always. You love preaching and ministering others to effect change and inspire transformation and healing. So preaching and ministering always kind of resonates religious, but not necessarily. That's not what I mean here. I just mean you telling a group of people, maybe even inspirational quotes or whatever, to affect change and inspire transformation and healing. You want to help the less fortunate and the emotionally damaged, but you may be manipulative. You're also a tad psychic. So this is a weird one purely because you have Aquarius and the 8th house, which are both very sort of psychic energy places to be. So this one might be hard to understand, but tell me how you're feeling from me just reading that.
So definitely the spiritual side. I'm not religious, so that resonates with me. I'm very spiritual. I think there's higher, like we're here, something's up there, but I'm not like in. Maybe that's why the less fortunate and like emotionally harmed, because I don't think there's one specific thing, because then what if everyone doesn't get included? Like, I think there's like I don't know how to explain it. I'm like still like learning all of kind of figuring it out, but I don't like the thing of people being left out. And that's what something organized religion does. And I want everyone to feel welcome. And I don't want to even have to say that. You should just feel it. I shouldn't have to like say, you're welcome here. It's like, no, like it's your life and we're all welcome. It's just like, if you think there's something out there, which this earth is beautiful, and I do think there's something out there, but I'm still not sure what it is. And then I'm not the quotes girl, like the inspirational quotes girl. But
quotes girl.
I'm not that girl, you know, I'll be honest. But I do like helping people. Like if I see someone's like really emotionally hurt, and like I've been through some like emotional stuff, so I definitely like, if I see someone in that, I'm not gonna just listen and then not address it. Like I'm gonna address it, and I'm gonna like catch up with them to see how are you doing. Like of course I'm gonna be here if you're still in that situation, but do you need my help to get out? A, B, I'll always support you, but this is what happened to me, and you know, it can happen to you too. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's
it's
how
very
inspiration is.
I also think of it almost like a pep talk. You're kind of the one that's gonna pep talk somebody.
Yeah, I like doing that, not gonna lie.
Yeah. And you're a tad psychic, so I don't know, maybe
Is psychic have to do with deja vu at all?
it can, yeah.
I have deja vu all the time.
That you have some kind of connection to either someone on another plane that's feeling what you're feeling, or maybe a past life you, or a future version of you.
I definitely believe in past life. Like the whole lines on your palm means how many lives you've lived. I think I've lived a lot of lives. When I was like 18, I always said like I'm a 30-year-old in an 18-year-old body. And now it's like,
there we go.
I should have said something older, but I do think I am like, I feel older than I am. And then I had deja vu yesterday. Like I have deja vu all the time. So it's like, this has happened before, or I've
lean into it
before. So yeah, I know it's creepy. I need to start
lean into it. That could be something that maybe way down the line that you really get in touch with and just kind of,
that'd be cool.
Have a thought. I don't know. Also, the whole thing about money, just be careful with your money. You might be a little trusting with it. So you might be like, yeah, totally. Let's all just like put our money together in this investment, and then you'll lose it. Or like, I don't know if you gamble, but if you do,
I won't.
Right. So just be careful with that. Okay, let's move on. So your Saturn, I call it the task planet. This is the to-do, the job list planet. It's in Aries in the 10th house. So this archetype I wrote is the overextender. So discipline and practicalities are influenced by Aries, which is identity, anticipation, and energy, focused on the 10th house, which is legacy and status. So derives self-worth from success, takes on too much work and won't ask for help, focuses their energy on improvement, promotions, and showing others they are capable of anything and everything, hates failing but struggles to complete or see projects to the end sometimes, won't see how they're hurting themselves through overwork and burnout until it's too late. So how does that resonate with you at all?
All of it resonates with me.
I just read you.
Yeah, it really does. I can't tell you how many times I've said the word burnout since I've started my job, and people have said it to me because they see it happening. Like they see it could happen in the future. So I definitely value success in my life, and and maybe like a little too much, and that's when I can overwork myself, and I haven't really seen the repercussions of that. Like, I mean, you know, in college, like when I put way too much pressure on myself to like hit that perfect GPA for no reason. Right. No reason.
Right.
It literally didn't matter. But of course, being like me, I get it's just like, or my sign, like it's just like the way I was born.
It's just the way you were born. You can't help it.
And I've always said the whole like perfectionistic thing, and people have told me that too. And I know I struggle with that, but also I have to look at like the good side of it too, because also perfectionism does come with being really self-critical. So it can be a good thing, but also it can be my like it can be like my detriment.
Yeah. This is, I mean, if you look at the positive side of this, having discipline be so energetic in your legacy house is like, I mean, if you put your mind to this and don't let this kind of overcome you in your life, like you will have a legacy or a good career, or your family will be set up by the time you leave life. Like you will do what you set out to do. So not everybody has this. So I mean, take it with you. Just don't overdo it.
Right. Yeah. Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation. Come on. All right, let's move on to Uranus. Uranus, not my anus, but Uranus. Uranus is all about personal liberties and boundaries. So this is what you know you are capable of and your free will. That is in Aquarius in the 8th house. Again, I couldn't find a good word for this, so I just wrote the hippie.
The what?
Liberties, the hippie.
Hippie. Okay.
Hippie, Hippie, the hippie. Yeah, the hippie, like 70s, 60s hippie. Okay. Liberty and boundaries are influenced by Aquarius, which is wisdom, uniqueness, and community, focused on the 8th house, which is transformation, healing, and mystery. So you love changing yourself and evolving just for the sake of change. You're fascinating to others. People find you fascinating, but you require freedom and room to express yourself. Rebellious and nonconformist when it comes to sex, unattached to wealth as it is very inconsistent. So this is what I imagine is like kind of like the flower child who's like not into material things just because it's so up and down. Like I'll take it if you're going to give me money, but like I don't live by money. You also like the freedom to be able to change yourself if you want to. So that's kind of what I'm getting from that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I definitely like the ability to look and be whoever I want, if that makes sense. I like money, but I definitely find myself like today I'm trying to order luggage because I have the same luggage from the 4th grade. So I'm very conservative with my money in that way. Like I really like to save. I don't know why. What am I going to do with it ever? But I don't really like the only thing that I use money for is clothes. But then like other things, I look at it. I'm like, why do I still have this? Like that is so like I compare myself to Liza a lot. But like because I live with her now, so I see the difference. Like Liza, I like makeup.
I like money.
Liza really likes makeup and like spending her money on like makeup and diving into that. But I'm over here like, can I just get anything you don't like? You know, like she goes out and gets everything and clothes, and then I try on it after, because I'm like after the fact. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and unattached in the sense that like if you were to have a fire and you could only take 3 things, like a valuable item might not be on the list. Like money won't make that list usually.
Right.
Is what I mean by that.
Right.
I don't know. Think about that. That one's a fun one. I like that one. You're kind of free-spirited, so.
Yeah, no, I like you to tell me that because sometimes I feel like I don't change like up my personality, like not my personality. I don't change up like my how I look to other people, or like maybe sometimes people think
you are the one person that has had one of the biggest look changes I've ever known in my life, which is the hair.
Yes, I guess, but yes, okay, yes, but when am I gonna change again? Like I had the same hair for what 20 years, and now I have this.
Yeah, but then you had just mentioned that you gave up sort of the baggy shirts for a new sort of athletic lifestyle. So, I mean, you are sort of making big changes to other people. Maybe not to you, but it's something that like you may not see it as like.
Think of me, so.
Well, that's also like you may not see it as a big change, but a big change to some people is cutting off an inch of hair, or putting on So that's kind of representative in here is that you see yourself as anything is possible, and it doesn't affect you. So, hey,
I like that.
Lean into that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on before we hit that hour already. I know it feels like it's only been 20 minutes, but it's been an hour. Your Neptune. Neptune is the other side of the coin for Uranus. So Uranus is liberty and boundaries that are personal. Neptune is perception and expectation and the boundaries of others. Is in Capricorn, which is like the discipline house. In the seventh house, which is all about communication and relationships. So your perception and expectations are influenced by maturity and perseverance and discipline, focused on cooperation relationships. So this is, I wrote as the giver. You have sensible expectations of others. So you give without expecting anything in return, may overlook the negative aspects of others in hopes of having a long relationship, faithful and willing to support others to their own detriment, and you're easily taken advantage of. So what I mean by this is that, like, you understand that it's tough to be human and that people are not perfect to other people. So you're the one that's going to go, you know what, I'll take care of it this time, don't worry. I know it's going to be tough, like, I'll pay for it. Or, you know, if you're in a relationship and someone, it may be a little bit negative and people are like, you need to get out of that relationship, you'll be the person that's like, but they're a good person. Like, I'd rather stick it out and see where we can go kind of feel. So
Yep.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, that definitely has happened to me in a relationship before, where everyone didn't understand why I was in it. But it's like, I really do, and I say this all the time, I want to see the best in people, because that's what I want people to see in me. Like, if I, thank you. If I, mess up, like, I would want someone to see me for who I am deep down, not like that one thing that I did bad. So that I think can hurt me sometimes in relationships, because like some people just aren't good for me in my life.
Yeah.
And I really don't think I have that anymore in relationships. I think it might happen again, but I don't think I have it. So I'm definitely seeing a progression on how I do, who I choose to keep in my life in that way. But definitely I can get manipulated because I just want to see the best in people. Yep. And I've always said that, because I don't like thinking someone is doing something purposely bad to me. That makes sense.
Evil.
Yeah, I don't like to think people are evil. So that resonates.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good quality. I mean, when I think of that, when I was writing all that, I think my grandma, she was very much the same way. So that giver, I like that. Yeah. Moving on, Pluto. Pluto's all about rebirth and transformation. Is in Sagittarius in the 6th house. So growth and expansion as it pertains to health and responsibilities. So I wrote that it's like the moral or the lesson. You're like the silver linings person, propelled by crisis and trauma, which is very interesting. So you're the kind of person that, like, you might have something traumatic happen to you and you'll be the one that's like, well, what can I learn from this situation? Optimistic in bad situations or endings and sees the bright side. Views struggle at work as a state of being, and after weathering the storm will be a different person. So you're the kind of person that's like, I'm struggling at work, I can get through this, and then when I'm no longer struggling, I can look back and say I'm better. Whereas not everyone can do that. Changes in diet and exercise and lifestyle will be like throughout your life. An example, I don't know if these are you, but examples are like becoming a vegetarian or becoming a CrossFit person. So it's like your identity will be with those changes. It's not just like, oh, I don't eat meat anymore. It's like, well, I'm a veg, like the lifestyle that comes with being a vegetarian. Sees the past as lived and learned and not to be revisited. So interesting thoughts about that.
I'm all about mindfulness, because the past is in the past and we can't change it. So we have to live in the present, and we don't know what the future holds. So yes, on that. Also a big silver linings person. Like, I mean, a lot of whoever's watching, I had brain surgery, a couple of years ago, and it was like terrible, but now, like, I learned so, like, you have to take every day as it comes, because you don't know if you're going to have the next day, because your life can be flipped upside down. So definitely agree with that. And yeah, if I'm like struggling, I want I'm like, this isn't always going to be how I feel. Like, I will get through this, and then, I will look back and be like, damn, bitch, like, you did that. And sometimes I look back, like, even, like, in high school, you know, in bandos and ramblers, I look back and I'm like, Jesus, like, I don't know how I did that, because it was a lot, you know? And, so, yeah, but I do, and I'm open to talking about it, too. I love, and, like, the whole, like, I don't eat beef. Because of my surgery, I definitely lived through that, and I will tell anyone, like, I love it. Like, I like people to know, you know, that I don't eat beef. I never had a hamburger. So definitely I'm an identity person like that. Don't think I'll ever go veg because I like chicken too much. Yeah. But I understand.
You get the idea.
Yeah.
So let's go to what I mentioned earlier, to remember that thing that you had mentioned about I don't even remember what we were talking about, but it was in reference to this. So your Lilith, which is, a lot of people don't know, it's like the dark side of the moon. This is sort of darker, deeper, and repressed natures are in Virgo in the 4th house. By the way, happy Virgo season to all the Virgos. Just started. So this archetype I wrote is the Stepford wife. So the darker, deeper, repressed nature is influenced by organization, orientation to detail, and routine, which is focused on family and home. So this is the perfectionist, afraid of showing the world that they are human, keeps family life secret if it's not perfect, may feel guilty or inferior if they don't have a typical home life or family, and can be jealous. So this is your sort of, your darkness is like, you judge yourself if you don't have what you think the world thinks you should have for your family, your home. Like, if I'm not a wife with 2 kids in a perfect house, then I'm not, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
What you need from the Lilith is like sort of your karmic duty, which is what you need to learn. And it says you need to learn to accept themselves and not to judge. So yours is, you need to accept the fact that you like things to be a certain way, but you also can't judge it if they're not. So
that's hilarious.
That,
I mean, you said the perfectionist, right? Right when you start.
Yeah, that's the first word, is perfectionist.
Like, come on. Yeah.
And it's okay to be a perfectionist.
I know, but at the same time, like, definitely the routine, and I do get jealous. Definitely, I can admit that. That's why I try to stay off, like, social media. For, like, on the weekends, I get on it a lot, and I'm like, oh my God, like, everyone's having so much fun. Everyone's doing this. So,
Right.
But then on the weekdays, I never go on, and I never think about it. So that's what I have liked about work. But yes, to the family, home, you know, definitely, yeah, I want to get married and, like, have those kids. But I was at my cousin's wedding this weekend, and I was like, what if I, you know, I don't want to do it in a church. And hers was beautiful. I loved it. And they've grown up in that church, so it makes sense for them. I was like, who do I want to, like, officiate? I want it to be a friend. Like, I just want it to be someone that knows us. I was like, should I not wear white? Like, I don't know. So definitely, like, I'm trying to challenge the whole, like, just do what everyone else does. Because you should do what you want, not what society's telling you to do, and challenge the norms that society puts on us. To express yourself the way you want to. But that's hard when you're a perfectionist and you want to cause someone in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Exactly. So your last one that I want to talk about is your N node, your North node. This is your undeveloped characteristics, is in Virgo in the 3rd house. So whereas your dark side was in the, we got 30 seconds, girl. So this is in the 3rd house. This is about your organization as pertains to communication and thought. So I know you said you like to listen, but this says you're a bad listener. You lack interest in others and prone to procrastinate. You don't enjoy agendas or sticking to schedules.
This is a lie.
But let me explain a little slowly. So underdeveloped characteristics. So it's in the 3rd house, again, which is about communication and thought. And it's in Virgo, which is all about analyzing, perfecting, and detail. So you may lack detail in your communication and thought and organization, meaning that it says a bad listener, so I don't know, in the sense that you might either pick the wrong details, or you might focus too much on details, or you might miss general themes in conversations. You lack interest in others and prone to procrastinate. This is in the sense that like you don't like to be told what to do, which goes back to your self-liberty. So if someone's like, hi, we're going to be somewhere at this time, you might be the kind of person that's like, I don't want to. I'd rather do it when I'm ready. And doesn't enjoy agendas or sticking to a schedule. I don't know. That's pretty self-explanatory. So I don't know. What I wrote here to learn from this is that you should pay attention to daily affairs and creating order or routine in your life to eliminate chaos and allow for more freedom and success. So again, this just kind of goes back to the fact that you like to have your personal freedoms and you like not having boundaries. You want to show people what you're capable of, and you want sort of an expansive, like I can do what I want feel. So you might forget routine, you might forget detail, you might forget daily affairs because you're so caught up in this like I can do what I want feel. But if you do go and like focus on maybe creating a schedule, a daily thing, like a routine, it'll kind of pare down all the chaos that is all in your life, and then you will actually have more freedom and success in your life. That's what that means. Now, tell me what you're feeling about this.
Well, like my to-do list right here. Like I've already like written in my schedule like during the day. Like I am like very schedule oriented and detailed. Yeah. Maybe not too detailed though. Like maybe I need to start being more detailed. But I definitely like a broad overview of how every day is gonna go. Always been like that because I don't like chaos and I don't like feeling like I don't know what the day is gonna hold. I don't just like going with the flow. Like yeah, I'm very like I want this like, in this order. But I will say I do kind of like when people tell me what to do, in the sense that I want someone to say, okay, we're going like a date. We're going here at this time. I'm picking you up. Here I come. I don't like feeling, and that goes with the chaos. Like I don't like chaos. So either I'm gonna do it or someone else is gonna do it as long as there's a plan. So maybe like it's trying to tell me when I don't have a schedule that's just like not good for me. And right now sometimes I feel like my schedule's lost because I'm starting work and I'm not like scheduling out every day after work. Like I'm just living to work versus I used to like Monday this, Tuesday this, like when I was in college. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take that as, I need to re-implement my strict schedule if I want. Yeah.
And I think we also have to think about the house is communication and thought. It's about knowledge. It's about decision making. It's about relationships with others and how you learn and tell your truth to other people is about detail. So again, maybe it's more about what am I trying to think here? Maybe it's about setting aside a schedule for yourself to get in touch with your own thoughts. Maybe it's more about meditation, setting aside a schedule to get in touch with your own thoughts and emotions. Maybe it's when you are talking with other people, not being afraid to say how you feel right off the bat, or not being afraid to ask questions immediately. It's maybe getting to the root of everything at the start and getting used to doing that for yourself so that you don't do things like miss out on opportunities, so that you don't put others before yourself. You know what I mean? That kind of relates back to what the other
I don't know if Ivani's watching, but I just started working with her, and on Thursday, she was telling me how I should start meditating and how it really helped me. So when he said that, I need to
touch base. Yeah. So I think maybe that could eliminate all the chaos of like sort of maybe how you're feeling or your personal thoughts or your ideas, your knowledge. Maybe that'll eliminate sort of all the thinking, brainstorming happening or the chaos of how to relay that to people, and will allow you better to communicate that to others. So think about that.
That one challenges me. I like that one.
I like that one. I do too. That's a challenging one. So overall, that was your birth chart. Hello. Hi. We made it through all 5 pages. We didn't do it in under an hour, but we tried. We were close. I did want to kind of go over all of your archetypes, and then I tried to make 4 main archetypes that I think everyone kind of fits under. So I kind of wanted to go over them with you. So your sun sign was the perfect family. Your moon sign was the conservative. Your rising was the observer. Your chart ruler is the empath, or the empathetic one. Your Mercury, your communication, is the smooth talker. Your Venus, the desire, is the can-do. Mars, the action planet, is the underdog. Jupiter, your beliefs and your grace, is the minister. Saturn, your discipline, is the overextender. Uranus is the hippie. Neptune is the giver. Pluto is the moral or the lesson. Your Lilith, or your dark side of the moon, is the Stepford wife. And your end node, or your undeveloped characteristics, is the vacationer. So I kind of split those into two categories, which I called active or expressive characteristics, and then passive or internalized ones. So like your sun sign, your rising sign, your Mercury, Venus, Mars, and your Uranus are all active and expressive. So your active qualities are the perfect family, the observer, the smooth talker, the underdog, and the hippie. Whereas your passive and internal characteristics are conservative, empathetic, minister, overextender, the giver, the moral or the lesson, the Stepford wife, and the vacationer. But I found that very interesting that they split kind of like that, because to me, that is somebody who externally wants to almost prove something. Not necessarily like you need to prove something, but it's like is actively creating an external persona or how people see themselves. A perfect family, someone who wants to see things before they dive in, someone who is a smooth talker, is good at talking with people, and the underdog, I want to show you that I can do whatever I want. The hippie, like, I can do what I want, and life doesn't control me, is your active sort of life. Mm-hmm. But internally, you really, really cherish security. You're really sensitive and emotional with other people. You want others to be healed with you by what you know. You may work really, really hard just because you know you can. You give more than you receive. You always are looking for like a brighter side to the world. You are hard on yourself in being a perfectionist, and sometimes you might let the world you might let others come before you, so that clouds like your own thoughts and what you should be doing with those thoughts. So I thought that was interesting, and so I put you in this category. So I have two sort of axes of life. So I have the focus and what I've called the core. So your focus is like where what drives you. Where is your focus on? Is it on other, external, or internal? And to me, your focus was very external. It's very like, how do others see me? How can I make others feel about me? How do I make others feel better? It's all about an interaction, which is very Libra. And then your core is your internal sort of soul, your spirit, your core. Is it centered and static and it's kind of hard to move from, or is it sort of dynamic and you kind of are always at an extreme trying to find a center? And to me, yours is a little more like static. You have a way of living, and you don't really want to deviate from that, and you want others to feel the way you feel. So you are sort of the external static core person. So I've listed that as the hunter. So you're someone who looks outward for, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I'm still working on it, but I thought it was very interesting to kind of put it all together as like an external person with a solid core. I thought that was interesting.
No, I think that resonates with me extremely well. And like my whole life, I've definitely always really cared what others think about me, and want to put off a certain way to everyone, but also like, I know, like deep down, like I know, like what you're saying, it's like I kind of already knew all this because I really do like to know who I am and have those like solid things. So that's why I said at the beginning, like I'm external, extroverted, and introvert.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the example.
Extroverted, but also like introverted at the same time. And like, I'm totally okay with being by myself. Like today, I like lay by the pool all day by myself on grocery shopping. Like, totally okay with that. But also at the same time, I'm like, oh, but I want to be with people. I want to be with people. So it's
because that drives you, definitely. There was a lot of social houses that you were in, so I could see how that drives you.
Yes.
So, but that's your birth chart. How do you feel about this reading?
It was amazing. You're so good at it, which you already kind of briefed me. You know, we were in Shay's Bachelorette, but you know, we were tipsy. Like that was a while ago.
We were glamorous.
We were living on the beach. So I definitely was really excited to like hear it again, like, you know, sober and like detailed. Like it was, you're so detailed with it, and it's real. It's pretty damn spot on. And I appreciate you putting into words that make sense to other people, because you understand all of those words, and then you're like, okay, let me break it down for you. And then I'm like, okay. That is a gift you have. Please keep spreading it, because I think if you understand yourself, then you can be a better person to other people, better relationships, better in friendships, if you actually understand who you are. And I think a birth chart's a great way to get that started, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's also just a great way of, you get out of it what you put into it and what you want out of it. So if this can point you in a direction that you weren't exactly sure of, then it's done its job. And so that's what I like doing for it. So I'm glad that you wanted to be a part of it. I'm glad you were a part of it. I'm sorry it was longer than an hour again. I can't figure out how to get them shorter.
You have a lot of knowledge to share.
So much. So what I'm going to do, it might take a while, but I'm going to get this sort of in a nice, beautiful package for you, and I'll send you this so that you can have it forever. But I want to thank you, Miss Olivia. If you want people to follow you, you can tell them where to follow you. But
oh yeah, I'm Olivia MacDowell. Follow me. I'm private though, so like hopefully we have some mutual followers.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. And yeah, I hope everything goes well with your job. You know, don't work too hard. Ask for help when you need it, but we know you're going to be successful, so I'm not worried about you.
I love you. Thank you again.
Love you very much. All right, thank you for coming.
Of course.
See ya.
Bye.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching another episode of Bachelor of Charts. This has been episode 2 with Olivia MacDowell. You can find this over on my YouTube channel, which is linked in my bio on my Instagram. You'll also find some really old, stupid videos in there of me. So have fun doing that. You can catch me next week. I'm going to have another guest on here. And then I'm thinking of doing some sort of smaller videos here and there where I explain some of the little aspects to you if you're interested. But thank you guys for joining, and have a great week. Don't get too crazy this week. Remember, Black Lives Matter. They always matter. They will continue to matter, and they always have mattered. And wear your masks. Be safe. Love you all.